conversation. When you take the survey, you'll be automatically entered to win seats at our annual Black History Month luncheon, Thursday, February 29th. So, hit our website at KBLA 1580. Help us out by taking the short climate justice campaign survey, and you could be our guest at our annual Black History Month luncheon, Thursday, February 29th. Thank you in advance for your consideration and cooperation. At KBLA Talk 1580, we care about the community, we care about the climate. We care about the climate.
Hey Zoe, I'm calling your show, 'cause I need to know. Show me which way to go before I throw my man out the door.
Okay, hold on a second, Keisha. Just let me ask Ronald exactly what's going on, because it takes two to tango, and I need to hear his side of the story.
So she's driving me insane, got stress heavy on my brain. She keeps playing silly games, man, I'm about to bring the pain. We seem to fuss and fight every day and every night. Please give some advice so we can see the light, see the light.
Relationships are more than just the butterflies and romantic moments Hollywood depicts. A lot goes on behind the social media photos and changing your relationship status on Facebook. Have you been wondering whether you're ready to get into one? Here are 7 signs you're ready for a relationship. 1. You're not looking for someone to complete you. This is a big one. Many people often jump into a relationship hoping someone can either save them from their problems, or they're influenced by factors such as loneliness and social pressure. If you managed to quiet those demons and want to be in a relationship because you genuinely see a future with your potential partner, then you're ready. There is nothing better than meeting someone who is your soulmate and taking this next big step. 2. You understand the importance of open communication. Good communication between both partners is what constitutes a healthy relationship. This doesn't necessarily translate to no arguments, but it does mean a willingness to work out your problems openly and honestly. If you have managed to sharpen your listening skills and are more forthright about your thoughts instead of bottling things up, then you're going to make one amazing partner. 3. Your ex is no longer on your mind. Being in rebound mode can influence people to seek new relationships too quickly in order to cope with their heartbreak. But this isn't healthy in the long run, and you'll only create more damage when you're hurting someone else. I've experienced this, and it's not fun consoling someone who talks about his ex all the time. Needless to say, we didn't last very long. When your heart is fully healed from the last breakup, then you'll feel better about entering the dating realm again. 4. You have mastered self-love and acceptance. The best part about being single is working on yourself. If you've managed to conquer your self-esteem issues and accepted all your flaws and weaknesses, you'll less likely enter toxic relationships. Often people stick around too long with partners that are bad for them because they're afraid they won't find anyone better. But this type of thinking indicates they weren't ready to be in a relationship to begin with.
We could end the show right there.
Ladies and gentlemen, the VOR back in the building in the heart of Lamert Park. KBLA Talk 1580. Zoe Williams in the house. Los Angeles, stand up. The number to dial is 1-800-920-1580. Tonight's topic, are you ready? Ready? Are you really ready for what you say you deserve? A deeper look at if you can honor, respect, and protect what you say you deserve. Oh, my Lord. This is going to be heavy tonight. Oh, I've got questions. You already know how this goes. Are you ready for what you say you deserve? You know what? I think a lot of people are struggling, right? With the concept that you get what you are, right? Now, I'm starting to hear people say it, right? You get what you deserve, you get who you are. I'm hearing a lot of people say it, but I don't think they really understand it. You have to understand something about your nervous system. Your nervous system, likes what it likes, meaning it likes what is familiar. And again, this goes back to attachment styles, especially if we're talking about the work of John Bowlby. The environment that molded you is what you want to continue. Why? Because your ego, your identity, how you see yourself was molded in that same environment. So when we ask the question, are you ready to be in a relationship? I think we should frame it differently. Are you ready to go to the University of You? Are you ready to enroll in the University of You? Are you ready to go to U school? Because when you date what is familiar, right? Your job is to unpack, right? Unpack what? Things that you may have suppressed, repressed, right? You have to unpack those things in order to transcend them. And oftentimes, unpacking what is suppressed or repressed is very difficult to do. Difficult in terms of finding the willingness to face it, and also difficult in terms of the pain associated with unpacking. Are you really ready for what you say you deserve? Now, we say we deserve the best, but have you given yourself the best? Do you have the best relationship with yourself? Right? Oftentimes, we just want to get something. We want to get something that's better than what we had, right? But many times, we don't even approach the idea of being better than what we were in. Do you see? 1-800-920-1580. Are you really ready for a relationship? Or maybe you should be more specific. What are you ready to receive from a relationship versus are you ready to relate? Because they're two different things. Many people are ready to get something. Oh, Attila Phillips said it right there. Or we want something better than what we are. Lord have mercy. 1-800-920-1580. Get to your phone lines. Non-judgmental space, of course. Everybody's opinion is welcome. This is a national discussion where everybody's thought process is valued. How do you know when you're not ready for... How do you know when you're not ready for what you say you want in a relationship? Are we really ready for what we desire in a partner and subsequent relationship? 1-800-920-1580. Who are your unrequited wounds and desires the source of your frustration in your adult relationships? That's a very heavy question. 1-800-920-1580. Get to your phone lines. How do you navigate the tension between being ready for a relationship and being content with being single? What role does self-awareness play in being ready for a relationship? How do you differentiate between being ready for a relationship and feeling pressured by societal expectations? Do you believe that being ready for a relationship requires healing from past traumas or emotional baggage? How many people I really want to know. How many people healed before they moved on? It's an honest question. I want to know how many people healed before they moved on. Call me, 1-800-920-1580. 1-800-920-1580. Lemon Pepper Stepper says, what you want will probably require a better version of what you are now. How many people have become a better version in order to receive a better version of themselves in order to receive their desires? 1-800-920-1580. Can you truly be ready for a relationship if you haven't fully explored your own desires and goals? Is it possible to be ready for a relationship while still maintaining your individuality and independence? We got a lot of great questions here tonight. How do you balance the desire for companionship with the need for personal growth and self-discovery? In what ways can a healthy relationship with oneself contribute to being ready for a romantic partnership with someone else? 1-800-920-1580. Get ready, get ready, get ready. When I come forward, I'll be talking to my friends and family on the line. Let's get it.
Reasons. The reasons that we're here, the reasons that we fear, our feelings won't disappear. You're listening to the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
Climate is king.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we believe that caring for the community means caring about the climate. You might have heard that we announced a pretty bold 12-month, $2 million campaign to do 4 things. Increase climate literacy, turn up the volume on communities of color in the climate conversation, connect everyday people with the resources they need to survive and thrive, and highlight frontline climate justice crusaders of color throughout this year. KBLA Talk 1580 will be bringing you insightful interviews on all of our shows to help raise your climate IQ. Each quarter this year, we will also be hosting free climate events in various communities throughout the city with food, fun, and forward-thinking conversations. Thanks to partners like LADWP, Metro, Caltrans, the Sierra Club, the California Community Foundation, the California Endowment, AQMD, MWD, and more. You'll also be hearing more about a couple of national town halls broadcasting live from Los Angeles, to which you will be invited. And we'll be rolling out a robust social media campaign on all our platforms, as well as an outdoor media campaign, all designed to educate, enlighten, and empower you in our fight for climate justice.
We want cleaner air.
Caring about the community means caring about the climate. At KBLA Talk 1580, we believe that we really can change the world if we care enough.
What's up? I'm Danelle Riley, FAMU alumni and creator of the HBCU Culture Shop. I am so proud of my new partnership with Black Beyond Measure and Target. They help me elevate community pride with my HBCU designs and continue to support Black creators and entrepreneurs with Target HBCU challenges, scholarship programs, and campus collaborations. Let's come together this homecoming season and beyond. Shop my brand and discover other Black-owned products at target.com/BlackBeyondMeasure.
Helping to broaden your political and moral imagination with our 2024 climate justice campaign. We're KBLA Talk 1580. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 believes in community empowerment. LA's 99 neighborhood councils form the grassroots level of the Los Angeles city government. The system was created to connect LA's diverse communities to City Hall. While neighborhood council board members are volunteers, they are also public officials elected to office by the members of their community. Neighborhood councils advocate on issues like homelessness, housing, land use, emergency preparedness, public safety, parks, transportation, and sustainability. They also provide local expertise on the delivery of city services to their various communities. Neighborhood councils are open to participation by anyone who is a part of the fabric of daily life in said community. This includes those who live, work, or own property or a business. If you are interested in stepping up to join your local neighborhood council, visit www.empowerla.org. That's empowerla.org. It's time to think globally, but act locally. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
You know you want some more. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
I don't even know how to love you just the way you want me to. But I'm ready to learn. Yes, I'm ready to learn to fall in love, to fall in love, to fall in love with you. I don't even know how to hold you.
Have you ever heard of the transactional analysis theory? No? Well, you know the saying, necessity is the mother of all invention? Psychologist Eric Berne certainly thought the same could be said about our relationships. His theory is founded on the idea that all relationships are transactional, and that we only form bonds with people we believe can give us something we want, or satisfy some need for us. Most people would agree that to a certain degree, Berne's ideas are true. After all, we all want something from the people around us, and our significant others are no exception. We enter romantic relationships with a certain set of expectations, and when the relationship is no longer meeting those expectations and satisfying us in the ways that we need, we end it. Seems simple enough, right? So why don't we apply those ideas to ourselves and assess if we're able to meet the traits and characteristics that are essential to fostering a close and meaningful relationship? Here are 5 telltale signs that can help you figure out if you're ready to date. A fresh start. First and foremost, it's important that you're in the right headspace for a new relationship. Ideally, you should let go of any emotional baggage related to your past relationships and ex-partners, or at least try your best to. So don't start dating if you're still hung up on someone else. No matter how long it takes, only date when you've moved on from the worst of your heartbreak and are ready for a fresh start. Are you able to get excited about the possibilities of your romantic future? If yes, then the time may be right for you to start dating again. Learning from the past. A 2011 study by Schulman and Kipnis talks about the importance of emotional maturity in successful romantic relationship outcomes, using content analysis and how it differentiates adolescent from young adult relationships. Similar to the earlier point, you know you're ready to start dating again when you've made peace with the past and learned from it. Because otherwise, if you keep rushing headfirst into new romances without fully processing your feelings, you're just gonna keep making the same mistakes with someone else. So look back on your previous relationship and be honest with yourself about why it didn't work and what you can do to make things better with future partners. If you find this video relatable and helpful, please give the video.
Ladies and gentlemen, the VOR back in the building. I'm in the cockpit. Let's get going. We got callers on the line. Let's get them in here. We want to talk. My brother Nazarene X, long time no hear from. Get in here.
What up, man? Hold on, turn my lights down right quick.
Yeah, turn your life down. It's all good.
Yeah.
All right. Talk to me, brother. What are your thoughts on tonight's topic?
First of all those questions were pretty dope, but I think with that as well, we need a definition of what it means to be ready for a relationship, period. Like,
what's your
first
definition?
and foremost, plead the fifth or no
No,
comment. I
no,
don't even
no.
have one. Nah, I'm messing with you. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm real time learning. Like, mine's I think, shoot, that maybe that's a good way to go to it.
Yeah, because
Mine are
mine might
flexible.
be mine might be different.
Yeah.
So
Well, yeah. Shoot, let's see. All right, so let's go straight from the heart. My definition for being ready for a relationship is I ain't got nothing else to do with all this greatness, so we might as well share it. Once you can, you know what I'm saying, reach that space of awareness, like we enjoying life, man.
mm-hmm.
It's again like even the way that I think that first batch, what was that word that stuck out to me? I think it was like requieted.
Yeah, unrequited. Yeah.
Unrequited. So like, all right, check. Big resource is a book called Waiting and Dating by Dr. Miles Monroe.
Mm-hmm. I
Personally,
love Miles Monroe, man. He was amazing. Yeah, he was
you ain't
amazing.
lying, man. Shout out to the elder and yourself as well. Like again, if KBLA, everyone, LA, nationwide, Canada, Uzbekistan, whatever, that relationship dismount, but how to stick the landing when exiting the toxic relationship. Shameless plug, but for real,
Mm-hmm.
like once you find the space to just introduce what you feel is beneficial for your continued development,
Mm-hmm.
like with humility and all of that, like you just continue to apply whatever. So, shoot, maybe right now, this is my style, right? If I got 85 seconds,
You got time.
I say have women call in and tell myself specifically, even though you make it up, because that's what you do when you meet strangers anyway. Like, just tell me why I am or am not ready for a relationship, potentially even. But I think a lot of it is that whole piece of what you call self-judgment. Like, that's going to trip you up. Like, for myself, I look at it like as I'm experimenting with just being open. I know that, for one, I'm not going to so-called disobey myself, because requieting the word, it makes me think of or reconsider how, again, before there was some kind of internal voice that I had to shut up. And a lot of times when we get used to the pain, or we still in our process, if you will, to be light and respectful for everyone's situation individually, it's like we still allowing those feelings or those thoughts or those internal voices to overpower the said stronger, more true, more full, more healthy inner voice that can be amplified once we rest into just settling into ourselves, accepting who we are more and more fully. So more than likely in your life, as an adult, in that sense, you've already had to quiet something again, or even like the clips allude to, it's like you're ready to date again. But if you're really, I wouldn't say if, but one way that I consider myself as well is that after I came through my metamorphosis, like the little cocoon space, I came out brand new from a standpoint of, well, I don't know what quote unquote dating is anymore anyway, because I'm that not necessarily like oblivious to my experiences, but really open to a fresh identity or idea or information that could fuel what I'm acknowledging as my heart's desire. Like, I feel like I want XYZ, the companionship space. I want to be able to relate to someone or something in that sense. Well, that's what I'm naturally designed to do. I love myself, I respect myself, and I won't compromise my own awareness of my personal involvement, my proximity, etc. But it's like, again, I'm not in real time saying, well, I don't want to go such and such, or I don't want to go through this and that and third again. It might be subconscious, but again, just part of the gems are just saying, like, back to Brother Dr. Monroe, friendship as a foundation. Again, you got the internal foundation of what you're going to look to share with someone else, like having that in order or structure to it and peace within. Like, it makes it so much easier. So it's almost like a fill in the blank type of space I'm in. I'm like, welcome. I appreciate this opportunity. I look like, or I remain one who believes like two people cross paths for a reason. There's significance in every step type of mode. So what I'm going to do is, continue to not rush myself in any capacity as best I can, you know, not get out of character and just let the chips fall in where they may, but also just remaining honest and willing to accept that people have their own definitions, and that's where communication come in, and we could work it out, we'll fill it out. But whatever you dialed into that's kind of like reeling you back in, as far as like when you're throwing out your hook or you got game or tactics and all that other stuff, like, you better be the bait for real, like, because it's bait out here.
Right. Right. Hey,
That's
brother,
all
let me
that's all
just
I'm
say
on.
this, man. I appreciate it. Guess what you just did?
Likewise, Shama Lama Ding Dong, ATF, fall for all that. Nah, bro. Appreciate you. Keep it going.
Yes, sir. Hey, if you want to bring your city in the building, all you got to do is call me at 1-800-920-1580. The VOR is on fire tonight. Let me just say, you got to be ready to go to school, self-school. You got to be ready to see how you're going to show up differently than how you showed up the last time. That's my definition. That's how I know I'm ready to get in a relationship, is let me see what I missed, right? Of course, I was able to sit back and observe and kind of, you know, take inventory and stock of, you know, my mistakes in the previous situation. Let me see how I show up in the new one, right? Let me see if I've done some work or if I've, you know, discovered some things about myself that I can adjust and that I can change. For many people, a lot of people don't even take that step. They just want to feel better. They want a better situation. The fresh start is rooted in feeling something better than what they were feeling before. And that's a difficult, you know, I mean, yes, that's cool. You get to do what you want to do, but really relationships are about self-awareness, learning about self. When we come forward, we have more callers to jump into this thing. I want to know what you guys think about it. Man, we on fire already. And when we come forward, guess who's we going to Houston, Texas.
Make you understand to hold your hand right now. I don't even know how to kiss your lips.
He's on fire tonight. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams, exclusively on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Amber Payton. Here's the latest on the Black Information Network. The Justice Department is investigating Missouri Democrat Cori Bush for her campaign spending on security services. The outspoken squad member who has been at the forefront of the Defund the Police movement confirmed the investigation, denied any wrongdoing, and said her campaign is fully cooperating. Bush, who is black, said she used campaign funds as permissible to pay for security, but did not use any federal tax dollars. Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson is delaying migrant shelter evictions. He announced he will extend the 60-day deadline for asylum seekers in the city's temporary emergency shelter system. All shelter residents originally were scheduled to exit on February 1st. Mid-March is the new date. The move by the mayor, who is black, follows pressure from more than a dozen aldermen who signed a letter urging Johnson to delay evictions. That's the latest. I'm Amber Payton on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network.
Shop the closeout event at Lowe's. Get up to 35% off select major appliances. Plus, save an extra $100 when you spend $999 or more on all major appliances. Valid 1/4/24 to 1/24/24. Selection varies by location while supplies last. See Lowe's.com for details.
We all agree that America has a very serious problem.
Okay, KBLA delegation, we need your help as we launch our 2024 Climate Justice Campaign. We would deeply appreciate you going to our KBLA 1580 website and filling out a short climate justice survey, which will help us better serve our beloved community as we build out this campaign. It'll take you just a few short minutes to complete the online survey, and the information you provide us will be invaluable as we do our part to hold folk accountable and amplify the the voices of our people in this climate conversation. When you take the survey, you'll be automatically entered to win seats at our annual Black History Month luncheon, Thursday, February 29th. So, hit our website at KBLA 1580. Help us out by taking the short climate justice campaign survey, and you could be our guest at our annual Black History Month luncheon, Thursday, February 29th. Thank you in advance for your consideration and cooperation. At KBLA Talk 1580, we care about the community, we care about the climate. We care about the climate.
City of Los Angeles landlords that own rent-controlled properties, starting February 1st, you'll be able to increase rents by 4% for your rent-controlled properties. An extra 1% per utility up to 6% can be added only if you pay the entire gas and electric bill. And don't forget to give your tenant an advanced 30-day written notice for rent increases of less than 10%. It is state law. Learn more about the rent increase at housing.lacity.org. That's housing.lacity.org.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. Legal Aid Foundation of Los Angeles is a nonprofit law firm that protects and advances the rights of the most underserved, leveling the playing field and ensuring that everyone can have access to the justice system. Every year, LAFLA provides free, high-quality legal services to more than 100,000 people living in poverty across greater Los Angeles. Their unique combination of neighborhood offices, self-help centers at courthouses, and domestic violence clinics puts Legal Aid Foundation of Los Angeles on the front lines in vulnerable communities and at the forefront of change. LAFLA's expert team of attorneys, paralegals, and support staff works to provide direct representation, offer counsel and advice, provide referrals, and educate the community about their legal rights through workshops and seminars. With locations all over LA, you can access their services or volunteer to help no matter where you live. And if you have an urgent issue, call 213-235-0060. That's 213-235-0060. To get legal help, make a donation, or volunteer, visit LAFLA.org. LAFLA.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Linking social justice and climate justice all year long. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580.
With no fees or minimums and no overdraft fees, banking with Capital One is the easiest decision in the history of decisions. Even easier than choosing Charles Barkley in a pickup game.
We'll take Barkley.
Ha! First pick. Sorry, kids.
Yep, even easier than that. With no fees or minimums and no overdraft fees, is it even a decision?
Okay, here's the plan. Pass me the ball every time.
This is banking reimagined. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank for details. Capital One NA, member FDIC.
Substance use disorder and addiction is so isolating. And so, as a Black woman in recovery, hope must be loud. It grows louder when you ask for help and you're vulnerable. It is the thread that lets you know that no matter what happens, you will be okay.
When we learn the power of hope, recovery is possible. Find out how at startwithhope.com. Brought to you by the National Council for Mental Wellbeing, Shatterproof, and the Ad Council.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. You're listening to the voice of reason with Zoe Williams. Only on KBLA Talk 1580.
Just had a fight with my woman over something trivial told. We rarely have confrontation, and if the I said really was bold, I think she get it from my mama. Her bitterness passed down from old. When I'm calling out her drama, she too defensive to listen. I'll call so. looking at, I got problems. You got the type of advice that I need. I couldn't get through on the mention series. Dana was hogging up the time that I need. Between working or being so clingy. Plus the time zone difference don't make it more easy. Oh, so I figured I'd call in early. Turn my life down, mercy, I got through. You tuned in, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. So just lay back your mind. Someday, everybody tuning in to soul. Cause he is.
Do you feel like you're ready for a relationship right now? Or do you think you might need more time? It's normal to desire that special connection with someone and the support that comes with a romantic relationship. However, you may feel like you're not ready for the commitment just yet. Social psychology research published in the journal Personality and Social Psychology Bulletin suggested that readiness for a romantic relationship is influenced by a variety of factors, including past experiences, personality, and societal expectations. Relationship expert Samantha Joel emphasizes that there is no right or wrong time to begin dating, as everyone's journey is different. With that said, here are some signs that you're not ready for a relationship, even though you want one. Number 1, you have unrealistic expectations. How can you approach relationships in a way that is fair to both yourself and your partner? It's important to recognize that having unrealistic expectations can be harmful not only to you, but also to your partner. The book, The Science of Relationships, answers to your questions about dating, marriage, and family, highlights that unrealistic expectations can lead to disappointment, hurt feelings, and even resentment towards your partner. In romantic relationships, we all have certain expectations, and it's normal to have those. You wouldn't want to be with someone who doesn't meet your needs and wants, right? However, your expectations can only be unrealistic if you force it on someone who isn't willing to meet them. It's important to recognize that having unrealistic expectations can put unnecessary pressure on the relationship and create tension and stress for both partners. Successful relationships require effort and compromises from both partners, not just one.
Ladies and gentlemen, the VOR is hitting the bullseye tonight. Can I just really give y'all the real? Relationships are spiritual. Yes, there is a social component. We tend to aggrandize the social component and marginalize the spiritual aspect. You know why? I've said this for 3 years now. We marginalize the spirit because many of us are not very attuned to the spiritual aspect of relationships. We're just not. We're not attuned to self. Many of us are self-unaware, right? When we start really digging down. I have to keep mentioning Dr. Marielle Bouquet's book, or Bouquet's book. I'm mispronouncing her last name. But just taking the sample from her book when she talks about just the 7 generations. If you go back 7 generations, we're into hundreds of ancestors, hundreds of grandparents, right? And it turns out that we have 255 of their genetic narratives and stories in us. And that's just 7 generations, right? Many of us are totally unaware of 2 of them, 3 of them. We might have an idea about our dad's mom or our dad's grandmother, right? We might have an idea about their great-grandmother, right? Man, 255 genetic stories? It's crazy, right? It's in you. Now, if you study African spiritualism, that's Egungun, the Egun, the ancestors. This is where the ancestral veneration is highlighted, right? But let me just say, they passed a baton to you for you to either break a cycle or continue one. And relationships are how we do it. Dr. David R. Hawkins, courtesy A. Britt Atwater, puts it this way from his book, The Pathway of Surrender. The greater our attachment to that which is outside of ourselves, the greater is our overall level of fear and vulnerability to its loss. See, you're not ready for a relationship if you're afraid you're not going to get something. If you're afraid you're going to be hurt again. If you're afraid to go into those 255 genetic lessons. If you're afraid to do the work, stay away from relationships. I've already told people relationships are the worst place to hide from your generational homework. If you're ready to do the work, then go into the relationship. If you're not ready to do the work, then stay back. Many people go into a relationship, as many of these clips we've already played has already articulated. They go in it to get. They don't go in it to give. See, if you go in giving, you start receiving. Listen to what I'm saying. Many of you guys better listen to the words of Jesus. One of the most powerful things Jesus said, he said, Lema. He said, Eli, Eli, lema sabachthani. My God, why have thou forsaken me? Y'all remember that when he was on the cross? Jesus said some very powerful things throughout the red words in the book. That was a powerful statement. You know what another one was? My God, let this cup pass from me. Not as I will, but as thy will. Imagine if you went into a relationship with that mindset. Let me give, not because I want to get something, right? Not because I want to get something. Let me give because I'm a giver. Look, watch how deep this goes, right? Watch how deep this goes. God tends to give you things when you're not really looking to receive. If you caught up in the business of loving and giving and understanding and empathizing, you know, the universe starts conspiring and filling holes in your life. The universe starts recognizing holes that you didn't even know you had. Sometimes that's it, not as I will, but as thy will. Many of us go into relationship from the perspective of I want this. I'm looking for this. I need this. And then they run up against a roadblock. Sometimes you got to, in order to get what you want, you have to give who you are. Somebody meme it right now. In order to get what you want, you have to give who you are. The truth of who you are. Not a performance, the reality of who you are. You have to give that in order to get what you desire. Sometimes, let me tell you something about desire, man. Don't you know God is trying to purge you of your desires? Don't you know your desires keep you shackled in wanting? Somebody better go meme that. Don't you know your desires keep you shackled in wanting? You're not supposed to want. Why? Because when you reach a certain level of consciousness, you start to recognize that the boundary between you and God starts to melt away. That's what self-realization is. But many of us think the answer is in somebody else. Many of us think the answer to our problem is finding somebody that know how to treat us. But you ain't never known how to treat yourself. What you've done is you've blamed other people for mistreating you, but you don't spend enough time reprimanding yourself for the mistreatment you put on yourself. You better recognize that relationships are not for the faint of heart. Am I ready? No, you just want to get. You're afraid to give because you think you'll be taken advantage of. Oh, that's somebody over here making an investment. Oh, Lord. One of the most common areas in which we see this emotional crippling is after divorce. All too often, it is followed by bitterness and the impaired capacity to create a new loving relationship. The unwillingness to let go of the blame continues the emotional crippling, which can go on for years or even a lifetime. When we come up out of bitterness, right? When we come up out of bitterness, what we have really discovered is an unhealed area in our own emotional makeup. And the effort that we put into healing it will bring enormous rewards. In any situation which involves suffering, we have to ask ourselves, how long am I willing to pay the cost? What were the karmic propensities to begin with? How much blame is enough? Is there a time to call an end to it? How long will I hang on to it? How much sacrifice am I willing to pay to another person for their wrongdoings, real or imaginary? How much guilt is enough? How much self-punishment is enough? When will I give up the secret pleasure of the self-punishment? When does the sentence come to an end? When we really examine it, we will always find that we have been punishing ourselves for ignorance, naivete, innocence, and lack of inner education. Dr. David R. Hawkins, from his book, Letting Go, The Pathway of Surrender. I've been telling y'all to get that book for the longest, but many of us say we want a relationship. We just run to another person. You ain't done this type of work. You can say you have, but you ain't, because it hurts. We rather feel the sweetness of somebody else's touch or their gaze. That ain't gonna last long. When I come forward, the sermon continues.
Is it good to you? More Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams when we come forward.
What's up? I'm Danelle Riley, FAMU alumni and creator of the HBCU Culture Shop. I am so proud of my new partnership with Black Beyond Measure and Target. They help me elevate community pride with my HBCU designs and continue to support Black creators and entrepreneurs with Target HBCU challenges, scholarship programs, and campus collaborations. Let's come together this homecoming season and beyond. Shop my brand and discover other Black-owned products at target.com/blackbeyondmeasure.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA reminds you that when we fight, we win, and we don't black down. LA Community Action Network, or LA CAN, was formed in 1999 when 25 residents of downtown LA came together and acknowledged the problems that existed in their community and made a commitment to do something about those problems, to stand together, organize, and become a force in the community that demands change. Civil rights and preventing the criminalization of poverty are their core projects. In addition, they take on women's rights, the human right to housing, and healthy food access. LA CAN also has projects focused on economic development, civic participation, voter engagement, and community media. While downtown LA remains their home base, with a particular emphasis on the Skid Row community, in 2007, they expanded their housing and healthy food access work into South Central Los Angeles. LA CAN believes that power for low-income people and people of color is achieved through a large, active, and well-informed member base that utilizes a multitude of methods to advance their messages and goals. If you'd like to join the Los Angeles Community Action Network and organize people to fight back against oppression, please visit cangress.org. That's cangress.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
If you say you care about the community, you have to also care about the climate. We're KBLA Talk 1580, and we've got your black.
You like your style, though?
At KBLA Talk 1580, We are unapologetic about amplifying the voices of those who have historically been left out of the conversation. As we approach our 3rd anniversary this summer, the problem with talk radio in Southern California specifically, and America more broadly, is virtually unchanged. All day, all night, all white. We make no apologies for our prime audience, but true to the best of our tradition, we're committed to expanding justice and freedom for all. So when we receive messages from listeners like Neil, we just smile.
I realize that I'm not your target demographic, but I love listening to your station as it is the only progressive station on the dial.
That's us. Unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. You know you want some more. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
I am ready for love. Why are you hiding from me? I'd quickly give my freedom to be held in your captivity. I am ready for love. All of the joy and the pain, and all the time that it takes just to stay in your good grace. Lately I've been thinking maybe you're not ready for me. Maybe you think
Ladies and gentlemen, my playlist is my co-host, but I'm going to say it again. I'm going to say it again. Many of you who are seeking a fresh start, what you've only done is hit the reset button. Right? Many of you have just hit the reset button with your fresh start. Do you understand? If you do not conquer you, if you don't get you together, do you understand? Every new relationship is a restart. You just hit the reset button. Do you understand? Let me tell you something about relationships. They will flunk you. You will have to do those classes over. And the sad part about doing relational classes over, you could spend your whole life doing those classes over. Because relationship is the only university you never graduate from. Do you understand? If you don't get your heart, your mind, and your spirit right, because only you can fix it. Relationship mirrors the work you have or have not done. Relationship gives you what you are so you can continue along your journey of growing. Listen, you are a being of unknown proportion. That's why you can never graduate from relationship. That's why the education that comes from relationship does not have a graduation ceremony. The education lasts for many lives until you conquer the many rooms and mansions in your spirit. Do you understand that? The mind, with its thoughts, is driven by feelings. Each feeling is the cumulative derivative of many thousands of thoughts. Because most people throughout their lives repress, suppress, and try to escape from their feelings, the suppressed energy accumulates and seeks expression through psychosomatic distress, bodily disorders, emotional illnesses, and disordered behavior within interpersonal relationships. The accumulated feelings block spiritual growth and awareness, as well as success in many areas of life. Dr. David R. Hawkins' Letting Go, The Pathway of Surrender is the book I'm quoting from. Do you understand? You ain't gonna never be ready until you're ready to confront yourself. Even when you think you're ready, you're not ready to meet the person. When was the last time you woke up and said, I'm going to meet them today? And met them? When was the last time you said, I'm going to go to the grocery store, he going to be in the grocery store? I'm going to go to the gas station, he going to be at the gas, he going to pump my gas. And later on, pump something else. When was the last time? You knew when and where relationships happen to you and through you. Typically, you have no control of when they will show up and when they will imprint on you. Typically, you have no control over that. In order to have what you want in another, you must be what you desire from another. Oh, I know y'all not ready tonight. I know y'all not ready. We got callers on the line. Woo! We got callers on the line. When I come forward, hour number 2, I'm talking to phone calls.
Would you please lend me your ear? I promise I won't complain. I just need you to acknowledge